Welcome to the Shipping Podcast, where I meet interesting maritime professionals sharing their passion for the shipping industry and their everyday job. I am your host. My name is Lena Gothenburg. Hello, Shipping Podcast listeners, and welcome to episode 226. If you have listened to episode 222 with Philip Shabane, you know that I promised to attend the International Antifouling conference in Gothenburg. And I did. I learned a lot about hull performance and how ship owners and ship managers are seeking solutions to manage hull performance more effectively, and how this is important for the environment and for their bottom line. It's incredible, I think, that a small company in Sweden, which grew out of a molecule for medicament, is now organizing a conference, gathering more than 170 people from all over the world to discuss bottom paint and sustainability for the shipping industry. We start this episode by asking Jennifer Arden, the marketing brand and relations manager at iTech, and the one who organized the International Antifouling Conference, how it all came about and what the outcome was.
Every conversation matters.
Welcome to the Shipping Podcast. Could you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Lena. My name is Jennifer Arden, and I work as marketing brand and relations manager at iTech, developers of Selectope.
And what is your background?
My background, I've been in marketing branding for loads of years now. I was in the chemical sector before I entered Selectope and iTech. And now I'm working with everything that we do in the daily life, including this conference that we're talking about today, where I've been one of the key coordinators during, the 3 days that we spent together.
And it is the second time this conference is held this year?
Yes. As some of you know, some might not, we are not an event company. We work with a small molecule which you add to paints to repel barnacles from ship vessels. But last year, or a couple of years ago, before we organized this first conference, we were sitting in the office thinking, why don't we meet with all our partners? It was post-COVID, and we felt the need to start seeing each other in person again. And we felt the same need from everyone that we talked to. So we decided to bring everyone together in Gothenburg, and it was a really big success. And this is why we now did this for a second year in a row, because all of the people that attended last year came back to us and asked, are we doing this again? So there is a big need for collaborations, for communicating the knowledge and the innovation that we all do in our separate chambers, to see if maybe we can combine them and work together in the future.
So no one thought about gathering all the people before you did?
Well, there is one big conference called the ICMCF, which is biannual, but it has been postponed year after year due to COVID. This is a place where the R&Ds and the PhDs and the students, the researchers, all of the people that usually come together and work together, they meet in this arena. And when we started the first conference, this was postponed until 2024. And we thought, this is too long to wait to see each other. But no, there isn't that many forums that bring everyone together, all the key stakeholders from the industry and down to the suppliers and the researchers.
And apparently there is a lot of things happening quickly now. So you needed to do that. You couldn't wait a year.
Well, yes, I guess it's two factors. It's one, what we see out in the world, the increased regulations and restrictions and efforts to reach decarbonization targets, but also new decarbonization targets, making it even more urgent to start working together for better hull performance, really, because the hull performance is a big key factor in keeping emissions down in shipping. So yes, it's urgent on that plane, but it's also because we have all these innovation, but we need to also make it visible, open up for new ways of working with these innovations, and also bringing it out on the market. So there's a lot of reasons to bring everyone together.
So how many people were attending the conference this year?
This year we were 170 people compared to last year when we were around 100.
So you had more people attending this year than last year?
Yes, it was a big increase. So I guess a big change was that we now had people from all over the world. Last year it was still a little bit post-COVID, and it was mainly people working within antifouling in Europe. But now we saw people coming from different regions in Asia, from New Zealand, from the US. So we covered basically the whole world, coming to Gothenburg to discuss antifouling technology.
And what kind of people? What do they work with at home?
This conference, which is, I guess, kind of unique, brings together people from ship operating perspectives. We had people from Hapag-Lloyd, Stolt tankers, Stena, coming here, bringing the perspective of the need and the demand and how they're working. But we also have most major paint companies coming in with people working in R&D, developing these antifouling coatings. And then in the next level, we have the raw material suppliers, which also work on a lot of R&D projects, trying to find new ways of implementing these components into the paints. And apart from that, we also organized this conference together with RISE, which is a research institute, and they bring academia into this. We also get all the new research, the fresh research within this field. So stakeholders from, I guess, the spectra research to ship operating. So combining academia and industry.
And do you know what they thought about the conference?
Yeah, well, the big privilege of being one of the coordinators is that I get to talk to everyone, all the delegates, all the speakers, and I have spoken to many of them after this conference. I would say that there is two key takeaways. And one is that we need to collaborate, and we need to have these spaces where we can share knowledge from new research to what is available and how do we combine it to reach the best results. What demands do we have and what needs is actually out there? And this is something that I think most of the attendees came back with afterwards. They were really pleased to see that all this innovation is ongoing. And I really think that this conference has created new contacts, new collaborations. I hope that it has led to that. And it is also very obvious now that this is a pressing matter. When we speak to the industry players and we hear that they want to collaborate, they want to work to improve the ship efficiency of their vessels, meaning that we now get also the picture of we're doing something right and we need to keep working. But a big question is, are we doing it fast enough? How does new innovations come out, and how do we work to implement it into the actual industry? I think that is what I've heard afterwards mostly, and also that everyone is very happy to find a place where we can get together.
So it's a hands-on conference. It's a how. How do we do this?
Exactly. We see messages coming. They're very often very long-term. They're often very far down the line. This is what we want to do. We all want to decarbonize shipping. This is one of the messages we hear out in the industry. It's a very nerdy conference, and it's very detail-oriented. And all the people in the audience and all the people up on the stage are experts in this field, the field of anti-fouling coating technologies.
Thank you, Jennifer. When I attended the conference, I asked a few ship owners why they thought participating was important and what they were looking for. Let's hear from Martin Köpke from Hapag-Lloyd and José Gonzalez from Stolt Tankers.
My name is José Gonzalez. I am Energy Conservation Manager for Stolt Tankers.
So what is your view about the conference?
My view about the conference is, let me start with my view about the topic. Fouling, biofouling, anti-fouling strategies has been always key for shipping companies and is gaining even more momentum now due to different reasons, environmental, regulations, sustainability, etc. So the topic itself is of paramount importance for us, not only those working for shipping companies, for the shipping industry in general, regulators, suppliers, etc. And the conference, so nicely organized by Selectop and sponsored by Stena, etc., is a very nice opportunity to cross our way with a lot of people that some of them we know pretty well, some others we don't know, but we can discuss and we can collaborate together in order to bridge the gap in between the organizations to find a solution that could work for all of us. So it's a very good opportunity to present the activities and how seriously Stolt Tankers is taking this aspect in our agenda, and also to know more people and speak with them, collaborate and work with them.
So why is this important for you as a ship owner to know more about this?
There is obviously a very clear implication about the efficiency of the ship in all the angles. Energy efficiency of the ship, but what we understand in Stolt Tankers as environmental efficiency. Emitting less, and in the specific case of the biofouling, also very related and linked to the life below water SDG number 14. Because it's not only about fouling and the additional drag and the additional emissions and consumption and the financial impact. It's also about increase of underwater radiated noise and other aspects that we are starting to see are important for all of us, but for one reason or the other, we haven't put a lot of attention in the past.
So what is your takeaway from the conference? What have you learned?
So far, I have seen a lot of interesting presentations. One from Stena Technique, very interesting, very in line with my keynote speech this afternoon in terms of increasing awareness, not for the sake of education, for the sake of facilitating the collaboration among the different companies.
Thank you very much, José, for participating.
Thank you, Lena. Thank you so much.
My name is Martin Köpke from Hapag-Lloyd, and I'm a decarbonization manager in Hapag-Lloyd.
Why are you here? Why are you attending?
Hull performance is one of the biggest levers for energy efficiency in our view. And we have a lot of potential as an industry, but also as a company, to improve our energy efficiency, to reach our own greenhouse gas targets together with the industry. And this conference here is a very good opportunity to come into contact with the guys who produce and do research on anti-foulings, also bringing them closer what we face in our daily life, because they are in the lab, but our vessels sailing on the ocean. So sometimes we speak a different language, and this year is a very good opportunity to talk to each other and speak the same language.
So what are your takeaways? What have you so far learned?
I learned a lot about new anti-fouling technologies. I see or get confirmed that we need collaboration in between. So this is not just paint, it's so much more. It's paint, it's the job in the dry dock, it's the performance monitoring, the data handling, the analytics, the environmental correction of data, and feed that back to the paint manufacturers and to research and develop better and more reliable paints for more efficient ships. And this can reduce hundreds of thousands of tons of CO2.
So you are already collaborating with a lot of different stakeholders in the maritime industry. Have you found some new ones here now?
Definitely, I saw a lot of very interesting companies and researchers. And this topic is so complex that we cannot tackle this alone. Hapag-Lloyd, for example, is engaged in the Maersk McKinney Møller Center for Zero Carbon Shipping, where many companies join forces to work on technical solutions for decarbonizing our industry. And this is the same here. Exchanging information, establishing more transparency, and that will be the key. We, as a ship owner, operator, and manager, cannot solve this alone. We need others to help and to join.
Yeah, and you have the same challenges.
Absolutely. And this is the same challenges as a ferry company, as a tanker company, and also our paint manufacturers. They want to offer reliable products. We want to buy reliable products so we can exchange here and bring transparency and find root causes when the products fail to develop better ones for the next time.
It's a win-win.
Hopefully, yes.
Thank you, Martin and José. The conference gathered ship owners, paint manufacturers, raw material suppliers, researchers, and other representatives from the maritime industry. For those of you who have listened to the shipping podcast before, you know that I'm a change agent and a nerd for innovation. So I contacted one of the startups that attended the International Antifouling Conference. I got Solène, the initiator of the cooperative platform for hull data, Open Hull, and asked her about her views of the conference in Gothenburg.
I'm Solène Guéré. I'm launching an initiative called Open Hull around collaborative ways to improve hull maintenance and cleanings. Previously, I've had a scientific education, working in research in biology, and was more targeted around cell biology. And I also did a master in economics, and then turned to the startup world. And I have helped develop several clean tech startups in seawater desalination, renewables, home insulation. So a lot of different topics. And 5 years ago, I came to the maritime world with an opportunity to work for underwater drone. And one of the big markets for us was the shipping market and shipping inspection, hull inspection, and how to improve hull maintenance. And that's where I started this journey around hull optimization, hull maintenance, and hull data.
And you also attended the International Antifouling Conference held in Gothenburg 2 weeks ago. How was that?
It was the first time I was attending it, the second time this conference was held in Gothenburg. And for me, it was extremely interesting to dive deeper into the chemist world of coatings. This is a subject that I haven't really touched before, and it comes back to my education. So it was very interesting to understand all the innovations. It was, I think, a huge success with lots of attendants, very varying backgrounds, coating companies, raw materials, shipping companies, cleaning companies, and also performance monitoring companies. So everything was really interesting. The conference talk, but also the networking breaks were really enlightening for me.
So what are your takeaways? What did you learn?
My takeaways, so I think the two days of the conference were quite different for me. The second day was around innovation, what innovations will enable to lessen the amount of biocides, and how well does it work. And I think that was very positive, very exciting to see everything that was coming in. I learned a lot. I didn't know there was a lot of researcher talks, so it was for me very interesting to see what was coming ahead and things that I didn't know of, the technology that I hadn't heard of before. And so that was the second day. For the first day, the talks were more general and targeted around the views of ship owners, of coating companies, and also the whole life cycle of the hull and how it can work in real life. So I was extremely interested about the view of collaboration, the need of getting more data and sharing it between parties. Coating companies need data, raw materials companies need data too. Myself, I was moderating a panel around the power of data and how it could help all the industry basically to push it further, to get this innovation to the market faster. So I think data can really help into that. And the conversations with the cleaning companies, the shipping companies was showed how much we can gain from it. And I think that was something that was shared by all the people attending the conference. And also what are the barriers, and if it's a so low-hanging fruit for climate improvement and fuel consumption decrease, what are the barriers? What is remaining to be done? What has to be overcome? What are the obstacles in front of us? And how can we work together to overcome them? And I mean, that was really in the topic of what I'm working on, and showed the way. Having people together and thinking about that together is really inspiring.
So you experience that there is a will to collaborate.
Yeah, definitely. There is a will to collaborate. People collaborate either at the individual scale level with the people they know doing the same job in other companies, trying to share insights, or at the more structured way through initiatives like Open Hull or like the Zero Carbon Center. And they also collaborate with their suppliers. So there is, I mean, of course, the ship owners present at this conference, I think, were best in class, trying to really collaborate more than perhaps the average ship owner. But they are showing the way, and they are, I think, inspiring others and showing how much they can gain out of it. And yes, this collaboration extends to the coating companies, sharing data with them, trying to tell them as much as possible so that innovation can go further. So yes, definitely. And there is also a need to collaborate and a will to collaborate from the raw material suppliers, who are keen to get some feedback on everything, which detailed information about how the material perform on the hull. And yes, there is this will and there is this collaboration happening. The general feedback, I think, from the people attending it and sharing insights in the panel was that it could go faster. It could go at a faster pace or at a broader level. At the level of the companies, there is a need to get the management involved and have them also understand with data, and data is needed to have them understand how much we can gain from collaboration too.
Thank you, Solène, for your input. It sounds like a sense of urgency to have a more proactive approach to hull maintenance, and that we now see reliable data for hull performance. I bet we will soon see more investors in this market. This deep dive that I have done into this, for me, unknown material has sparked an interest to know more. I hear so much about alternative fuel. That topic is being discussed everywhere. But hull performance has flown under my radar. Before we close up, we need to hear from Jennifer again. What feedback has she received from the participants?
Well, based on the feedback that I have received after this conference, there are mainly, I would say, 3 main takeaways that I have seen. And the first one, and maybe the most important one, is that there isn't one solution to managing fouling and corrosion. We have the emissions in focus. We have all the restrictions and we have all the new targets. We need to decarbonize and we need to do it together. This is what I hear. And to do that, we need to collaborate in between different areas. The operators, the paint manufacturers, the raw material suppliers, but also the new novel research that is ongoing. How do we combine this into making the best coating performance to keep emissions down? The second one is probably that we don't have that much to work with. The toolbox is small, it's getting smaller. Biocides are being more restricted, regulatory. And since we don't have that much to work with, we really need to collaborate to make the most of what we have. So we are not competitors in this. We are all partners that needs to come up with the best solutions together. And lastly, I hear from a lot of the people that they are surprised that there is so much innovation out there. There is so many novel solutions. There is so much work going on in this field. How do we take that and make it into something real? What will be the future and how do we get there quicker? Because it is urgent, and this is what we hear.
Every conversation matters.
Thank you, Jennifer, Martin, José and Solène, for helping me understand your goals and what is important. I have done some more interviews to follow up, but this is it for now. Until the next time, from me to you, over and out. Thank you for listening to the Shipping Podcast. Don't forget to tell everyone that you meet that there is a shipping podcast available and that they should download it and listen to the maritime professionals who are sharing their passion for the shipping industry.